gentlemen, welcome to this august house. In this house, we are discussing the very important topic of the house believes that the West will eat the African pie. The learned proposition came here and gave a particular definition which my learned opposition humbly accepted. However, they failed to understand the problem and did not give the proper rebuttals. I would here ascertain the facts, how we have backed up our contentions and how our contentions went unrebutted. First of all, we said that the West is here for their own purposes to exploit, to plunder the African resources. In order to substantiate these points, we said there are 6 contentions to support them. They being the political reasons, neo-imperialism, using NGOs or hegemony, drug addiction, development, human trafficking, these being the six contentions. Now, as opposing these 6 contentions, the opposition did not come up with anything substantial which would aid their cause. They being that we are trying to put a blame game across, which was rightly rebutted by us by the statistics which we gave forward. Then they want culture and education which has to be developed. As far as the investment is going in oil companies and gas relations, there is no education or culture being developed. There is not even schools being established. As far as trade cost and benefit analysis is concerned, I would like to give a factual analysis that how the West benefits from the wars or the conflicts or the destructive nature in which the African nations are working. As far as the wars of Uganda and Rwanda are concerned, US benefited by supplying $225 million worth of military assistance to these countries. Just from one war, they gave $225 million of assistance in military, which they purchased from the US. Now, in total, the African conflicts provided US with $1.5 billion of money. See, at the end of the day, what matters is the money. The buck stops there with the money. No one is here for the aid of African countries, as they mentioned. As far as they say, they have given certain loans or certain debt analysis solutions to Africa. They haven't given it without. So, if this violence is happening between the African nations, and instead of the United States doesn't send them arms, China does. How will the West will eat the pie? It's their fault, not the Western countries. Rightly raised by my leader of opposition. Here, that is where my deputy Prime Minister comes here and says, we have an African Union. It's not that he has a blind setting the West outside of it. We have an African Union which is there to take care of our own people. Let us take our decisions on our own. We do not want money which is coming from outside to influence us. Now I come to the speech of the opposition member. She comes up and says, they do not have reciprocity. There is holistic development. There should be holistic development, peaceful cooperation, so on and so forth. I would like to say they contradicted between the deputy leader of opposition and the opposition member. The deputy leader of opposition comes up and says, we are here to trade and not to aid. And then the leader of then the opposition member comes up and says, we are here for holistic development and peaceful cooperation. As far as your money comes from the war, which peace will give you arms and ammunition? This is what the debate is all about. In total, she gave an assertion of Saudi Arabia, how the West works with Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is not being eaten up by West. As far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, it is a dictatorship regime in which one man controls the whole country. If that one person gets a benefit with working with US, it does not matter whether the people in that country are actually benefiting from such a collaboration. Whereas in Africa, we have a number of issues. Ghana has a huge amount of coal. One small village in Ghana was discovered with having $1.5 million of gold inside it, and coal reserves also being with Ghana. Now, the essence of the debate is that we feel the way things have been going on since 19th century, the Western countries are here for their only trade purposes and not for their aid and assessing purposes as they want to portray to the African Union. And hence, the African Union wants to have a much more sensible approach and regulate this eating by the West. With this, I would like to end with.
They can refer to the and if personal, she even goes to refer as personally, if that is taken.
Speaker with the word point and raising the hand, ma'am.
sorry, you'll have to go through that again.
Ma'am, while raising the hand, he mentioned the word point while my speaker had not yet stopped, ma'am.
He'd not taken it.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Take it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the opposition whip and I shall present my rebuttals. Now, I have a fundamental problem with what the government is proposing here. The first is that, I repeat the motion. The motion is the House believes that the West will, I repeat, will eat the African pie. They have dwelt in status quo and they have dwelt in the past. Will necessarily implies future. They could not give us one, not even one perspective which could tell us that why it shall continue in the future. Something which has been happening in the past does not necessarily mandate that it will happen again. And this they have not proved. Further on, they have quoted thousands of examples and thousands of perspectives, many perspectives which do not have legal backing, which do not have proof. Asking why they do not have proof. They have said, for example, the BP, the British Petroleum is coming in and hegemonizing the government and causing by funding the rebels. However, they have not provided any proof as to why they are doing that. Yes, sir.
Isn't CIA fact book now approved?
No, you never said that the CIA fact book says that the BP funded the rebels. That could have been an international blow right there. Further, the next problem that I have is they had the onus of proof that let us look at what is the term used here. The term is eating the African pie. Eating the African pie in itself is so strong a term which they have backed again by mentioning the words consume, plunder and exploit. These are so strong terms that they have an inherent issue of malice and malafide attached to them. Thus, there was an onus of proof on them to provide an onus of proof, to prove that there is a malafide on the part of the West to eat the pie. Yes.
On the issue of oil spill caused by oil companies coming from the Western countries.
Oil spill, I would like to tell you there was a huge oil spill in America itself. Oil spills do not mean, you are not basically able to tell that it was the malafide of the West which led to such oil spills. Oil spills happen, that's not a big problem. Another thing they indulged in the classical logical fallacy of circular logic. They said they took an assumption and they proved their own assumption. This does not amount to a proper logical thing. They took that, they presumed the fact that exploitation is going on and they proved that exploitation is going on. So they actually did not make any logical construction. Moving on to point wise. They actually gave 6 perspectives. However, the perspectives of environment, the perspectives of new imperialism and the perspectives of human trafficking, they just said it. They never explained it. They never told what it means. This was done by all the first 3 speakers again and again. However, they were not told. They have again said they're causing anarchy, that the West is causing anarchy, but they again have not provided any proof. Also, they are saying they used a very, very far-fetched idea of a common African constitution. Even the EU, which is the most idealistic union of countries, even that EU does not have a common EU constitution. How can Africa have a common constitution? Further, they talked a lot about. Further, I would like to point out that what they need, what we have come here and told you, we have come here and told you that the West will not do it. Why will it not do it? Because it need not do it. Because of the cost-benefit analysis that we presented very beautifully. Why we need not do it? Because we have learned from the post-colonial lessons of the Britain and France. Also, we have learned, which is written down in the book Points of Decision by George Bush, wherein he has said that America should not have invaded Afghanistan, thereby proving that the West has learned and it shall not do it again. However, they are not even talking of the future. And with this, I proudly oppose the motion.
Now your speech is 1.5 minutes long. There'll only be one bell, and we'll ring the next bell right after it.
A warm good evening to the August House. For the last time from the side of the government, here are the rebuttals. I have basically 6 rebuttals. First of all, coming on to the point of globalization. Now, globalization if done without proper and trusted administrative structure, will definitely lead to plundering and concentration of wealth, as already stated in my first speech. Coming on to the point of funds being provided for what purposes? Helping, yes, considered. Mutual benefit, yes, considered. But crossing the line and using malicious means to indirectly control the African reserves through government and through politicians is where we have problem of the intention of the Western forces of plundering the wealth. Coming on to the point of trade and not aid. African nations has already established a very poor economy. Trade is a two-way process. You give something, you receive something. What are you receiving? You are receiving resources. You are receiving reserves, and in turn you providing bribe. So coming on to the point of malified intent, it was properly proved that because they're trying to get contracts for the oil reserves, for the mining reserves, and these are their hidden agendas. That is why they have malified intent to plunder resources in Africa. Also, I'd like to state that they take debt service payment. When they provide debt, why do they take it back in the form? When it is intended that it is supposed to be an aid, why is it taken back in the form of a debt service payment? With that, I'd like to conclude.
Well, the first thing I would like to say is great lawyers in the making. Both the teams are from the law school. Both are from law schools, right? And in fact, the top 8 teams out of all 30, so all 8 are, they're from law schools. That's really surprising. Yeah, so it was really very exciting, very close, real neck and neck. So this was the part 1 today. And part 2 is going to be equally exciting. So because, we have, I think, 2-3 occasions in the past we have had this session with Mr. Sachit Jain. One was from 5-6 years back, another was 2 years back. I'm sure part 2 is going to be equally exciting. May I request Mr. Indrajit Nagpal to please present a bouquet to Mr. Sachit. Mr. Sidwani, can you please come and introduce Mr. Sachit Jain formally to the audience?
Very good evening, everyone. As Kamal rightly said, after such an interesting debate, now is the time to listen to someone who's an authentic leader himself to speak to us on the subject of leadership. And I'm indeed very happy to introduce someone whom I have worked with for quite a number of years. I have seen him so closely as a wonderful human being, an excellent leader, and an epitome of inspiration. During all of the years I have worked with him, he is indeed a great builder of knowledge, expertise, and the ideas of leadership which have really helped me in my career. Coming to the formal part, Mr. Sachit Jain is the Managing Director of Vardhaman Special Steels Limited and Executive Director of Vardhaman Textiles of Vardhaman Group, a 4,000 crore enterprise, one of the largest textile houses in India. He studied electrical engineering at IIT New Delhi, management at IIM Ahmedabad, and financial management at Stanford, USA. He was awarded gold medal at IIM Ahmedabad in 1989. Before joining Vardhaman Group in the year 1990 as Executive Director, he started his management career with Hindustan Lever in 1989. He has helped shape up Vardhaman's investment in Badri, Himachal Pradesh, right from the beginning. Starting with an initial investment of 32 crores, he has led the team which put up 9 factories to the cumulative investment of approximately 1,500 crores and a direct employment of over 7,000 people. After stabilization of manufacturing operations of the group in Himachal Pradesh, he shifted to Vardhaman Group corporate office in Ludhiana to help group's overall operations in different businesses. He has inspired a large number of personnel towards delivering extraordinary results. He has been a change agent at Vardhaman. He led the IT group of Vardhaman for implementing ERP, making Vardhaman to be one of the first textile organizations to have done so. His accomplishments in implementing IT project at Vardhaman have been showcased by IBM for a global audience. He has also helped steer the implementation of TPM across Vardhaman Group. He currently heads the finance and accounts, EDP and IT, commercial, internal audit, legal, secretarial, taxation departments, and steel business of the group. On the professional part, he has been very, very active in many business forums. He was the chairman of CII, Himachal Pradesh State Council. He was the chairman of HRD Subcommittee, CII Northern Region. He has been the co-chairman, CII National Committee on Textiles. He is the president of Northern India Textile Mills Association, RITMA, and the founder of Baddi Rotiwala Nalagarh Industries Association. He has also been a member of various government committees in Himachal Pradesh. He is the senior vice president of our own Ludhiana Management Association. He is a keen golfer, swimmer, and martial arts practitioner. He is a widely traveled professional. He keeps expanding the cutting edge of knowledge. He keeps exploring the new dimensions of business and personal excellence, and has an interest in living a holistic life. He is married to Suchita Jain, also an executive director with the group, and has 2 daughters. He has published his first book, ready for takeoff in the year 2010. So we have indeed the pleasure to listen to him on his very, very favorite subject, that is leadership. I invite Mr. Jain now to please come and present.